go with the news. Yep. And this is a story here that you might remember about. It was a guy that back in 2018 he killed this unarmed black guy that was his girlfriend or his wife had parked in a handicapped parking spot, and so the white guy ran up to the car, man, hollering at this guy's wife, and so when the guy came out the store, they got into a confrontation. The white guy shot him and killed him, and then he talked about it was stand your ground. But when they reviewed the video, they could see that that wasn't even the case. The guy was nowhere near him when he shot him and killed him. So here we go. Michael Drejka, 48 years old, learned his fate after a Pasco Circuit Judge Joseph Belloni heard from family members of the victim. Marquise Glockton, 28 years old, including his parents and the mother of his 4 children, Brittany Jacobs. The defendant's weakness, his cowardice and his anger are the reasons Marquise is dead. Jacobs said, reading from a prepared statement. Think about raising 4 children alone without their father. Without Marquise, my world can never be whole again, said Jacobs, asking judge for the maximum sentence of 30 years. Judge, who described Drejka as a wannabe cop, rejected a request from the defense attorney for a lenient sentence of probation and house arrest. Defense attorney John Trevena noted that Drejka had no previous criminal record and told the judge he has been suffering in ways that the community has no knowledge of, including being held in a cold isolation cell. Yeah, right. So he also stated that the sentencing guidelines of 11 and a half to 30 years in prison were harsher than the punishment suggested last week for former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger, who was sentenced to 10 years in prison after being convicted of murder in a 2018 fatal shooting of Botham Jean. Drejka's attorney said they plan to file an appeal asking that the conviction be overturned. So the judge sentenced him to 20 years in prison. Said the most ironic thing about this whole case is he parks illegally. He's the one that parks illegally. He doesn't even park in a parking space. He parks close to Brittany Jacobs to argue about her parking illegally, and through this, as he zooms in, he parked illegally. Belloni said in his judgment that Drejka had shown no remorse for shooting McGlockton, at least during the court proceedings. The judge offered Drejka an opportunity to speak at the sentencing, but he declined. The defendant's actions were not excusable and they were not justified, Belloni said. In addition to sentencing Drejka to 2 decades in prison, Belloni offered him to pay the McGlockton family $5,000 in restitution to cover the funeral expenses. In August, the Florida jury deliberated for 6 hours before finding Drejka guilty of manslaughter. Drejka had argued he acted in self-defense and initially invoked Florida's controversial stand your ground law. And that Florida is popping up again. That earned widespread attention during a neighborhood watch volunteer George Zimmerman in a 2013 killing of Trayvon Martin. The self-defense law, which went into effect in 2005, allows people to use lethal force if they consider their lives to be in imminent jeopardy. Just hours after gunning down McGlockton, Drejka told detectives he opened fire when McGlockton shoved him to the ground and caused him to fear for his life, a scenario the jury rejected after viewing the security video of the shooting multiple times. It says, now these people got sense. They says, I can't forgive Michael Drejka. There's no forgiveness in my heart right now. My son is gone. Drejka's still living. He's still breathing. His wife can come come see him whenever she feels like it. I can't go to my son. I have my son's ashes in an urn on my table. And it was important for the spirit of Trayvon Martin and all the victims of Stand Your Ground murders, Crump said, and it was also important for the supporters, those people in the community of color, to know that equal justice is possible in America when a white person kills an unarmed black man and then claims the protections of the racist Stand Your Ground law to vindicate them. There's a case here, and it's really disturbing. We have well, years ago when these Air Jordan tennis shoes came out, it was a lot of situations like this that were going on, and people were losing their lives. And here's a new case here. A 14-year-old black teen killed over a pair of Nike Air Jordans. Denver, and I'm not going to even try to pronounce his first name, but his last name is Lawrence, a 14-year-old boy from Denver who dreamed of playing in the NBA someday, was shot dead by his friend during an argument, apparently over a pair of Nike Air Jordans. His family said Lawrence had some friends were at a car wash when they began arguing over a pair of shoes he was wearing. The argument continued at a nearby house where he got shot on the stairs. Lawrence was rushed to the hospital where he later died. The suspect, whose name couldn't be released because he's a juvenile, initially said that it was not him who fired the shot. He was arrested and currently being held for investigation of manslaughter, second-degree assault, 3 counts of felonious menacing, attempting to influence a public official, and a juvenile in possession of a handgun. So the parents had set up a GoFundMe page to help with the funeral expenses. Okay, here's a feel-good story of the day. We have the entrepreneur that creates coupon program for black-owned businesses to compete with Groupon. Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. While many startups and small businesses struggle with building customer loyalty, black-owned businesses must work even harder because of negative stereotypes. One common misconception is that black-owned businesses lack quality customer service. Danielle McGee, founder of Black Business Boom, believes we must create actionable ways to dispel the myths and bridge the gap between black-owned businesses and consumers. BlackBusinessBoom.com, a growing e-commerce marketplace for black-owned small businesses, has launched a new mobile app to help build loyal customers and drive revenue. Merchants will have the opportunity to grow their businesses by offering coupons and incentives to customers across the United States. The Boomin' mobile app, which launches on October 1st, is available for download for both iOS and Android. It's enough to motivate consumers to support black business owners through social movements, said Danielle McGee, Black Business Boom CEO. It's critical that black business owners understand how to retain customers and have access to resources that will help them in today's marketplace. And this is Black Business Boom is an e-commerce marketplace for black-owned small businesses, and you can reach them at www.blackbusinessboom. That's BOOM, Black BlackBusinessBoom. That's one word. BlackBusinessBoom.com. And but if you want to download the app, you can go to http://onelink.to/BGGYWV. And that sounds pretty good to me, man. So, you can go in there and get some coupons and discounts and stuff just like you can on Groupon. And it's a black-owned business. So, hey, let's get busy. Let's support this thing. I'm going to say the name again, so in case you missed it. It's called BlackBusinessBoom.com. And you can check them out. They're online. And just go check them out. KP! That's a wrap. That's the news.